We live in a world of instant everything, right? You can send a message across the planet in the blink of an eye. But what happens when you need to move a ton of data? I'm talking about your entire company's digital archive. All of a sudden, that instant connection feels more like you're trying to push a mountain uphill. It's a huge digital traffic jam. So, what's the solution?
Okay, let's get real for a second. Let's say you have to move 500 terabytes of data. That is half a petabyte of your most critical files. How on earth do you actually get that into the cloud? And look, this isn't some crazy thought experiment. This is a massive headache for companies all over the world right now.
Your first thought is probably, just upload it over the internet? Yeah, right. Good luck with that. You're going to hit a wall, and you're going to hit it fast. We're talking about that digital traffic jam I mentioned. Even if you've got a super fast fiber line, an upload that big could take months. Not weeks, months. And the cost? Oh, forget about it. The bandwidth bill alone would be insane. It's just not a realistic option for most people.
All right, so if the digital superhighway is completely clogged, what do? Well, Microsoft's answer is kind of surprising and honestly a little old school. They're solving this very digital problem with a very physical solution.
And here it is, the Azure Data Box. Now, don't think of this as just some big external hard drive. No, it's more like a secure, armored, digital moving truck. The idea is brilliant in its simplicity. Microsoft literally mails you this super tough device, you plug it into your network, you fill it up with all your data, and then you mail it back. Bam! You've just completely bypassed the slow, clogged-up public internet for all that heavy lifting. And we are talking about serious scale here. These things come with either 120 or a whopping 525 terabytes of usable space. Remember that 500 terabyte problem we started with? Well, you could get almost that entire project done with just one of these bigger boxes. It's wild.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Shipping my data around? That sounds like a logistical nightmare. But honestly, the whole process couldn't be simpler, and it's all tracked, every single step of the way. So let's say you want to get your data into Azure. Here's how it goes down. First, you hop onto the Azure portal and order one. A few days later, the box shows up at your door. You plug it into your network, just like any other device. Then you just copy your stuff over, fill her up. Once you're done, you slap the return label on and ship it back. That's it. Your job is done. Azure takes over from there, automatically and securely uploading everything into your storage account. And what if you need to get data out of Azure? Well, it's pretty much the exact same process, just in reverse. This time, Microsoft loads up the box with your data from the cloud and ships it to you. You get it, copy everything off onto your local servers, and ship the now empty box back. And this next part is super important. As soon as it's back, Microsoft securely wipes the disks clean, like to government standards, so you know your data is gone for good from that device. Okay, so we've got the how down pat. But the bigger question is, why? I mean, when would you actually do this? Let's dive into some of the most common reasons. For getting data in, the biggest one is those massive one-time moves. Think about migrating an entire farm of virtual machines or maybe a gigantic media archive. You're not going to upload that. Another huge one is what we call seeding a backup. You use the box to get that first giant backup into the cloud, and then from there, you just send the small daily changes over the internet. It's the best of both worlds. And then you've got these really cool edge cases, right? Like oil rigs or remote research stations that generate terabytes of data but have terrible internet. They can just fill up a data box every few months and ship it out. Now, for getting data out, the number one reason is, without a doubt, disaster recovery. Imagine the worst happens and you need to restore everything, and I mean everything, back to your own data center. Trying to download hundreds of terabytes in a crisis? That's a non-starter. Getting a box shipped overnight is way faster. It's also super critical for things like security audits or government requests where you have to hand over a massive data set. Or, hey, maybe just deciding to move back on-prem. It happens.
Look, this whole idea falls apart if it's not fast and super secure, right? Well, let's just say Microsoft has put a ton of engineering into making this thing both a speed demon and a digital Fort Knox.
But let's be honest, this is the question on everyone's mind, right? Is it actually secure to just ship your company's data in a box? It feels a little crazy. But trust me, they've thought of everything. The security is built in at every single level. So let's break down these layers. First, the physical box itself. It's a rugged, tamper-resistant beast. Then the data.
From the moment you copy it on to the moment it's in Azure, it is always locked down with AES 256-bit encryption. That's military-grade stuff. To even unlock the device to copy data, you need a special password that you can only get from your Azure portal. And like we said before, once the job's done, those disks are wiped so clean, forensically, that not even the best data recovery experts could get anything back.
Okay, we've talked security. Now let's talk about the need for speed. Because the jump between the older data boxes and the new ones is, honestly, it's staggering. We're going from a 10 gigabit Ethernet port to a 100 gigabit one. That means you're loading data onto the box up to 10 times faster. And then, the upload from the box into Azure's data center, that's up to 5 times faster. It is a massive leap forward.
So what does that actually look like? Well, check out this number. Under the right conditions, you can hit a copy speed of 7 times gigabytes per second. That is just an absolutely blistering speed. You're not loading this thing up over days anymore. You're loading up hundreds of terabytes in a matter of hours.
And this isn't just about slapping a faster port on the box and calling it a day. As Microsoft points out, the secret sauce is in optimizing the whole package, the hardware and the software. They use some really clever tech, like RDMA, that stands for Remote Direct Memory Access, which basically lets the data box talk directly to your server's memory. What that means for you is that your server CPU doesn't get bogged down managing this huge file transfer. It's free to keep doing, its actual job.
So, it all brings us back to this one kind of funny idea. There's an old saying in tech: never underestimate the bandwidth of a station wagon full of tapes. And it's kind of wild, right? Here we are in this age of 5G and fiber optics, and yet, when it comes to moving truly massive amounts of data, the fastest, cheapest, and most reliable way might still be to put it in a box and put it on a truck. It really makes you think, doesn't it? In our super connected wireless world, maybe the future of big data is physical.